What happens when a supermodel and a nightlife mogul fall in love? On the surface, Cindy Crawford and Rande Gerber look like the perfect couple. Nearly 3 decades of marriage, 2 beautiful kids, and a lifestyle most people only dream of. But behind the glossy photos and red carpet smiles, their relationship has had its fair share of bumps. Let's rewind a bit. Cindy first met Rande at her agent's wedding, back when she was still married to Richard Gere. But once that chapter closed, things with Rande started heating up, and not long after, the two tied the knot.
By the time we got to the wedding, we were like best friends.
Now, here's where things get messy. During the early years of their marriage, while Cindy was one of the world's most recognized faces, Rande was busy building his business empire. And, according to some insiders, he wasn't exactly husband of the year material during that time. One source described him as a big flirt, especially while running his nightclubs, where women were constantly throwing themselves at him.
And we would go to different restaurants, different hotels and bars.
And then came the allegations. A woman named Harmony Kubiak, who worked at one of Rande's bars, claimed that back in 2000, just 2 years after the wedding, things took a turn on a wild night out in New Orleans. She said they were partying in a limo, drinking heavily, and that Rande invited her to his hotel room. According to her, she passed out, and when she woke up, he was wearing nothing but a towel and was trying to undress her. "I freaked out and told him I had to leave," Harmony said. Later, the woman claimed she lost her job for rejecting Gerber. Unfortunately, that wasn't the only accusation. In 2009, 2 women who worked at one of his lounges in San Diego filed a lawsuit claiming they were fired after turning down unwanted advances. Rande denied everything, calling the accusations a blatant lie. His rep released a strong statement through TMZ saying, "Mr. Gerber will not settle this extortion case even for a single dollar, and will take all actions necessary to clear his name, including filing a $10 million lawsuit for malicious prosecution once these allegations are proven false."
We're in shock. We're like, what is this? He goes,
Gerber's close friend George Clooney backed him up, saying he was with Rande the entire night during one of the alleged incidents. George even offered to take a lie detector test. Now that's a loyal friend. And through all this, where was Cindy? Probably wondering how her life had suddenly turned into a scandal tabloid special. It's honestly wild to think about what she had to process behind the scenes. Over the years, the couple has faced divorce rumors too. In 2018, a source claimed they were living separate lives and constantly dealing with drama. But neither of them has confirmed anything, and instead they keep showing the world a united front. In 2021, Cindy even shared a sweet Valentine's Day post calling Rande the love of her life, writing, "I'm proud of us for the life we have created. Even when things get crazy, when we join forces, we can get through anything."
What's the biggest surprise you've ever had?
My husband managed to sneak a piano into our house one Christmas morning.
Still, their dynamic isn't your typical hearts and roses fairy tale. Cindy once admitted that they don't really talk about their relationship all that much. According to her, she's the emotional one who feels the need to check in, while Rande prefers to keep things quiet. His motto being, "If everything's good, why talk about it? And if it's bad, why talk about it?" Well, it clearly works for them, but let's be honest, that approach does sound a little odd to most of us.
We really respect each other, and we don't fight dirty. That's another thing. You gotta fight nice.
yeah.
Yes.
Don't say things you can't take back.
And as if navigating marriage in the spotlight wasn't enough, Cindy and Rande have also had to weather some tough moments as parents, especially when it comes to their son, Presley.
Getting thrown into the modeling industry, it's like you sink or swim.
As the eldest child of Cindy Crawford, one of the most iconic supermodels ever, and Rande Gerber, a former model turned tequila mogul, Presley seemed destined for success. Back in 2018, he even recreated his mom's legendary 1992 Pepsi ad, a striking resemblance, by the way.
This is the Pepsi for this model. And his mom.
He hit the runway at just 16, debuting for Moschino, and later landed gigs with brands like Calvin Klein, Tommy Hilfiger, and Dolce & Gabbana. Most recently, he starred in a Celine campaign. Sounds like a dream career, right? But behind the glossy photo shoots, Presley was struggling.
I remember within the first week of signing, I'm like in New York, people are taking pictures of me, like shirt off. I'm like, this is, like just my whole life changed within a month.
Let's rewind to 2019. Presley's year got off to a rocky start when he was pulled over for speeding in Beverly Hills. TMZ reported that officers smelled alcohol on him, and Presley ended up failing a sobriety test. He was charged with a DUI. While his lawyer emphasized that Presley was taking the matter seriously, it was the beginning of a very public struggle. He later pleaded no contest, got probation, and completed a DUI program. But this wasn't just about one mistake. It was the first sign that Presley was grappling with some deeper issues. By 2020, Presley's name was popping up everywhere, but not for his modeling work. His DUI, bold tattoo choices, and controversial social media posts had people talking. And that face tattoo, he called it a way to show he felt misunderstood.
If I thought this was gonna ruin my face, or I didn't want this, I wouldn't have done it.
As for his family, sources said Cindy and Rande were deeply concerned but remained hopeful it was just a phase. And then there were his cryptic Instagram posts. Like one video from a gun range captioned, "Innocent little me before all the horrid tattoos. Y'all know nothing. Wake the f*** up." Social media antics aside, Presley also suffered a mountain biking accident that left him in the hospital. A source told E! News that Cindy and Rande viewed these actions as a cry for help. And while they stayed close to him, they quietly pushed for more serious mental health treatment.
If anyone had to say to me about this, or anything else, or my family, or how I grew up, or anything, I will give you my address, I promise, and you can come say it to my face.
Presley's personal life also added fuel to the headlines. In 2022, he announced what looked like an engagement to model Lexi Wood on Instagram, only for the couple to call it quits just weeks later. Talk about a whirlwind. According to insiders, it became clear they didn't see a future together. Fast forward to 2023, Presley appeared on the Studio 22 podcast and reflected on his past and opened up about his mental health struggles.
Having struggled with, mental health, depression, and some other things that come along with that, I think that, whether I help one person or 100 people get out of that place that I was in at one point in my life, that's all I need to do.
He acknowledged his mistakes and said they were lessons he could pass on.
Hopefully, I've made that mistake for a lot of people that will, they can learn from my mistakes. Hopefully, I've made the mistakes for a lot of people.
Stepping back from modeling, Presley launched an Instagram series called Mental Health Mondays, where he shared tips on coping with life's challenges. His advice was to take a break from social media when it gets overwhelming and lean on friends for support. "I've let a single comment ruin my day," he admitted, adding that learning to block out negativity was key.
Like I been really diving into mental health and just the community around it, because I feel like it should be talked about a lot more than it is.
But 2024 brought an even bigger revelation. Presley opened up about battling opioid addiction, admitting he'd been on and off them for years. Preparing for ibogaine treatment, a therapy aimed at tackling addiction, Presley said, "Getting clean is a scary thing. That's why so many people struggle with it." By sharing his journey, he hoped to hold himself accountable and inspire others to seek help. Presley's journey has been anything but easy. Definitely not the picture-perfect life you'd expect from his famous family. But by sharing his story, he's turned his challenges into a way to connect with others and bring purpose to his platform.